Hello, my dear friend. I'm Emma, and today's reading is one I've been sitting with all morning because the energy coming through is so clear, so specific, that I had to sit down and actually give it the space it deserves. This is about a powerful emotional shift happening right now, dear, where a man in your life is coming to see you, fully, completely, as exactly who you are. And your age, your years, your experience, I'm being shown that far from working against you, they've become the very thing he can't stop thinking about. If you've ever quietly wondered whether time was somehow working against you, whether growing older meant becoming less noticed, less wanted, I want you to stay with me today, dear, because what's coming through says something very different. Settle in, because this is a longer reading. 7 cards, and I want to give each one the room it deserves. If you're new here, welcome, and subscribe if this speaks to you. As always, dear, take what resonates and gently release the rest. Let's pull the cards. Okay, let's begin. The moment he realized no one else compares. Dear, I'm sensing a specific moment here, recent, within the last little while. He found himself surrounded by surface-level conversations, casual interactions that had no real depth to them, and something about that contrast hit him almost like a physical jolt. He realized, sitting there, that what exists between you and him is genuinely rare. I think for a while he may have taken your emotional steadiness for granted, dear, assumed that calm, grounded presence you carry was just ordinary. But once he experienced the draining, chaotic energy other people bring, your presence became the standard he measures everything else against now. I want to sit with this a little longer because I think it matters. This isn't a fleeting comparison, dear. This is the kind of realization that reorganizes how someone sees a person completely. And once it happens, it doesn't really reverse. The old doubts that never belonged to you. Dear, I want to gently name something. There may have been a stretch of your life, maybe caused by things people said, maybe old insecurities you absorbed from somewhere, where you started to quietly wonder if growing wiser, growing older, meant becoming less noticed, less desired. I want to be really clear with you here, dear. Those doubts were never really yours. They were projected onto you by people uncomfortable with their own insecurities, wanting you to shrink a little so they'd feel more comfortable standing next to you. But what's coming through in this reading completely reverses that old story. He doesn't see your age as something to overlook, dear. He sees it as part of what makes you genuinely magnetic, the mystery, the elegance, the sense that you know exactly who you are. The storm he watched you walk through. Here's something tender I'm picking up, dear. I think you've quietly carried a fear that maybe you cared too openly at some point, showed too much of your real self, and that vulnerability left you feeling like you could be overlooked because of it. What I'm sensing instead is that your steadiness, your emotional honesty, is exactly what drew him in rather than pushed him away. He sees someone who's weathered real things and come out the other side without losing her softness or her strength. Dear, to a man who's genuinely maturing himself, that combination, peace and depth together, isn't something he takes lightly. It's rare, and he knows it. Why he pulled back? I want to be honest with you about something important here, dear, because I think it explains a lot. If there's been distance, some pulling away on his part, I don't think it was about losing interest in you. I think it was about him wrestling with his own sense of whether he measured up. A man standing next to someone genuinely grounded and self-assured can be intimidating, dear, even for someone who deeply wants to be there. I sense he questioned whether he was emotionally where you are, whether he could match the depth you bring. And instead of communicating that honestly, some men retreat quietly instead. That distance reflected his own uncertainty, dear, not anything lacking in you. I do want to say that period seems to be closing now. Whatever hesitation was there is starting to shift. The voice that tried to talk him out of you. You, dear, I'm sensing there was a voice somewhere in his circle, maybe a friend, maybe an old pattern from his past, that tried to steer him towards something easier. Something that would ask less growth of him than being with you would. I think that attempt actually backfired, dear. Rather than pulling him away, it made him realize how much he'd been listening to noise instead of trusting what he actually felt. And I sense it clarified something for him. That the easier, more superficial option was never actually appealing. It just looked simpler on the surface. What he wants is you, dear, not the version of ease other people tried to convince him to settle for. The vulnerable message that's coming. Dear, I do see contact coming, possibly within the next little while. It may start off sounding casual, low stakes, almost testing the waters. But I want you to pay attention to the tone underneath it, because I don't think it's as casual as it seems on the surface. I sense he wants to hear your voice specifically, dear, that it genuinely settles something in him. And I believe he's going to let a little more vulnerability show than you've seen from him before. Whether directly or through the way he compliments you, I think you're going to feel him acknowledging that what you carry, your maturity, your depth, is something he hasn't found anywhere else. The throne, not the countdown. And we close here, dear, with the card I think matters most. Your age was never a countdown. I think what's actually true is closer to the opposite. It's the throne you've earned. Every year, every hard season you've moved through has added something to who you are that simply cannot be rushed or faked. I sense he's preparing to show up differently this time, dear. Not testing, not half in. There's a real awareness now that someone as grounded and genuine as you isn't easily replaced, and that waiting too long risks losing something valuable. Whatever hesitation existed is giving way to something more decisive. So, dear, if this reading found you today, hold your head up. Stay rooted in your own worth, regardless of what he ultimately does with this clarity. You don't need external validation to know your value. But I do think, quietly, this one is coming into focus for him too.